It was another life, another world.
Storming the beaches, they must have been terrified. My fiancé had been killed in 1944. He was a bomb aimer in the Lancasters.
The day it was announced that we had moved into Germany, I can remember because, oh boy, we all felt we were there pushing in almost.
Going up that beach, doing what they did. When I see it today as an older man, they're my heroes. My name is Henry William Rice. My age is now 99 and I'm looking forward to being 100 because I'm saving as hard as I can because I'm gonna have a party.
One of the ways of keeping a secret is that as few as possible people know what the secret is. We didn't know until the security blanket was lifted 30 years later of the work we did and therefore the significance that it had. I was sent to an outstation of Bletchley Park where I was trained to work on one of the machines that Alan Turing invented to speed up the breaking of the Enigma codes.
You're also a liar, aren't you?
Oh golly, everybody brings that up. I wish I hadn't said it. Yes, I was far too small. You had to be 5'3" to become a Wren. So I cut out bits of cardboard and put them in the heels of my shoes to give me a bit of a lift. And I buffed my hair up and stretched up as much as I could.
You are 18, aren't you? When I said I'd left all my documents at home, so I said, oh yes, I said I'll be 19 in February. So the Air Force thinks I'm 103. The Air Force knows me as Queenie. I tried to join the Wrens to start with, but in the information they sent us, they said they would require a birth certificate. We had another think and we thought we'd try the Air Force. Well, they didn't ask for a birth certificate. And my ultimate boss was Group Captain Harris. I was in the middle of the war. I was with the troops as they were landing on the beaches. I could hear incessant machine gun fire. Incessant. Never stopped. That first sound of everything was quite disturbing. But I thought, I had a job to do, so I just got on with it. And those young men who were holding their rifles and storming the beaches, they must have been terrified. But they were laying their lives on the line. It was really a day of history, I suppose.
I'd never seen the sea until I actually joined the Royal Navy. It was another life, another world. I met other shipmates that had done it all. They'd been bombed, torpedoed, sunk. Some men, they get off one ship being sunk, picked up, get on another ship, and that gets sunk. Fortunately for me, I suffered one torpedo attack. I did nothing heroic compared with the Air Force, the soldiers, my shipmates that went through it all.
When you were coming through the woods, all of a sudden you see this great big blanket of white fog sort of thing. And if you didn't get your gas mask on fairly sharpish, it used to sting your eyes. My fiancé had been killed in 1944. He was a bomb aimer in the Lancasters, and he was shot down over Germany. You see, we had planned to marry about the September, October of 44, and of course he was killed in the August. He was on his 23rd mission.
The day it was announced that we had moved into Germany, I can remember because, oh boy, we all felt we were there pushing in almost. We'd worked for it for so long, which by the time we had achieved it, we were all somewhat exhausted and really somewhat blasé about it. Well, we've finished it at last, we've done that.
For VE Day, we didn't go dancing in the street or street parties or anything. We could hear all the racket going on, but we just stayed at home. So I'm sorry I didn't do any great deal of celebrations on the VE Day.
VE Day was a day of mixed emotions, I think, for me. Memories are fading now, they really are. But I must confess that when I think back, I do get a slight feeling of pride that I was a minute part of that operation, I must say. You know, you feel you've done something that was worthwhile. Very few wars are justified, in my opinion, very few. But I think World War II was a justifiable war.
A friend of mine and I, we went down into London, outside Buckingham Palace. Of course, it was euphoric. We were absolutely wild with joy. There was a release, a sort of outpouring of a huge communal sigh of relief. You didn't have to put the lights out and draw your blackout curtains and sit huddled round the fire with the lights down low and one lump of coal in the grate. It was just freedom, of personal freedom. And there was a feeling of all one big family having a party. It was wonderful.